if I wanted to, meet the man in the moon if I wanted to, say hello to you if I wanted to, and I want to. I could swim in the sea if I wanted to, ride a killer whale if I wanted to, be your new best friend if I wanted to, and I want to. Spin the world with the sole of my shoe, outrun the wind by a second or two. All of my dreams have silver wings that fly like rockets through Saturn's rings. Hey, 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 what can I say? I can do anything. I could write you a song if you want me to, and you could sing along if you wanted to. There's nothing we can't do if we wanted to. Do you want to spin the world with the sole of your shoe, outrun the wind by a second or two? Hey, all of my dreams have silver wings that fly like rockets through Saturn's rings. Hey, 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 what can I say? I can do anything. Go, 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 go. Upside down, backwards, sideways. Sure, yeah, I can do that too. Watch me now. Spin the world with the sole of my shoe, round and round, outrun the wind by a second or two, be your new best friend if you want me to. All of my dreams have silver wings that fly like rockets through Saturn's rings. Hey, 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 what can I say? I can do anything. And I can do that too. Look at me. I could high five the sun if I wanted to. And I want to. I could high-five the sun if I wanted to, meet the man in the moon if I wanted to, say hello to you if I wanted to, and I want to. I could swim in the sea if I wanted to, ride a killer whale if I wanted to, be your new best friend if I wanted to, and I want to. Spin the world with the sole of my shoe, outrun the wind by a second or two. All of my dreams have silver wings that fly like rockets through Saturn's rings. Hey, 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 what can I say? I can do anything. I could write you a song if you want me to, and you could sing along if you wanted to. There's nothing we can't do if we wanted to. Do you want to spin the world with the sole of your shoe, outrun the wind by a second or two? Hey, all of my dreams have silver wings that fly like rockets through Saturn's rings. Hey, 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 what can I say? I can do anything. Upside down, backwards, sideways. Sure, yeah, I can do that too. the sole of my shoe. Round and round, I'll run the wind by a second or two. Be your new best friend if you want me to. All of my dreams have silver wings that fly like rockets through Saturn's rings. Hey, 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 what can I say? I can do anything. And I can do that too. Look at me. I could hop out the sun if I wanted to. And I want to. I could hop out the sun if I wanted to. Meet the man in the moon if I wanted to. Say hello to you if I wanted to. And I want to. I could swim in the sea if I wanted to. Ride a killer whale if I wanted to. Be your new best friend if I wanted to. And I want to. Spin the world with the sole of my shoe. Outrun the wind by a second or two. All of my dreams have silver wings that fly like rockets through Saturn's rings. Hey, 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 what can I say? I can do anything. I could write you a song if you want me to, and you could sing along if you wanted to. There's nothing we can't do if we wanted to. Do you want to spin the world with the sole of your shoe? Outrun the wind by a second or two. Hey, all of my dreams have silver wings that fly like rockets through Saturn's rings. Hey, 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 what can I say? I can do anything. Upside down, backwards, sideways. Sure, yeah, I can do that too. Watch me now. Spin the world with the sole of my shoe. Round and round, I'll run the wind by a second or two. Be your new best friend if you want me to. All of my dreams have silver wings that fly like rockets through Saturn's rings. Hey, 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 what can I say? I can do anything. And I can do that too. Look at me. I could hop out the sun if I wanted to. And I want to.
Good morning and welcome to First Stage's 2020 ImpACT event. We're so thrilled you have joined us this morning and look forward to a wonderful hour with you as we share some of the ways First Stage has been making an impact in our community for over 30 years. You'll get updates from Artistic Director Jeff Frank, Programming Director Julia Magnasco, Chair of the EDI Committee Samantha Montgomery, and an important keynote address from Jill Winch, Child Life Specialist at Children's Wisconsin. I've had the pleasure of attending many of these events in the past, and I'm always surprised to learn something new about what's going on with the productions, or in the academy, or even in the education department where I worked for many years. First Stage is constantly adapting to the needs of the community, so there's always something new happening. I first became involved with First Stage in 1993. That's when I was cast by Rob Goodman as Sojourner Truth for the tour of the play, A Woman Called Truth. Since then, I've been in numerous First Stage plays and musicals, directed productions, worked as an educator in the arts for the education department, and was commissioned to write the play Welcome to Bronzeville, which was produced in the Todd Weir Theater. Our theme this morning is the power of connection. As adults, we all know how important it is to feel connected to other individuals, and it's even more important for our young people. This pandemic, along with the unrest in our community, is a heavy load to bear, and it's up to us to make sure we are taking care of them, each and every one of them. How is their mental health? Are they keeping a positive outlook? What do they need to thrive? And how are we helping them stay connected? We are blessed that Milwaukee has a place that exists to serve young people, using theater as a tool to engage, enlighten, entertain, and educate. First Stage is truly a gem in our community and has been working hard to ensure that young people are on top of mind, front and center, in the spotlight, building the next generation of leaders. Speaking of connections, I've had the privilege of working with First Stage's artistic director, Jeff Frank, for 20 years. We have collaborated on projects such as Smoldering Fires, Holes, and Perseus Bayou. These collaborations have also led to a wonderful friendship and creative connection. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Sherry. So wonderful to see you.
Oh, likewise. Jeff, do you remember when we met?
I don't remember the exact, I feel like I've known you forever.
But we met when I auditioned for the first production of the play, A Midnight Cry.
That was the first time, huh?
It was the first time. I remember rehearsing in the lower level of the Marcus Center, which was where the company was located at that time. Brad Bingheim was our stage manager.
Huh.
Yeah, he was tough.
He was good and thorough. Yeah, back in a time where we had no windows in our space down in the basement.
Right.
But
right.
And I remember that time, and Sherry, you were such a critical part of the development of that piece, which has had a long history. And an important piece for First Stage, and something that's gone on to have been performed and produced all around the country. I think my favorite role that you ever took on was Miss Athena in Perseus Bayou.
The 20-foot wings, right?
Yes. If all of you in our audience can imagine, Sherry center stage with 20-foot wings extended from her. But she's always been, an angel to me. So.
Oh, that's kind, Jeff. Well, I have a feeling that you have something special to share with us.
Well, I do have a few things to share, so I should probably get to it. But thank you so much, Sherry, and we'll see a bit of you later on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate your time, and we're thankful for your desire to learn about First Stage and our path forward. Today, we're talking about connection. At First Stage, we've always felt that the power of our connection to our audience has been uniquely strong. Through age-appropriate casting, the intimacy of our space, the dynamic nature of our education programs, and the impact of our academy training to foster not only stronger artists, but more fully realized human beings. Our challenge over the last 6 months and into the coming season is how to keep that connection. Or rather, how do we make it stronger than ever? When the COVID crisis hit, we were heading into closing weekend for Gretel the Musical. Had just opened a world premiere, The Legend of Rock, Paper, Scissors, and we're soon to embark on rehearsals for another world premiere, The Amazing Lemonade Girl. It was heartbreaking that we have had to defer these two world premieres, but we look forward to a return to the theater in a future that includes these two remarkable pieces. What we all thought initially was going to be a short-term suspension quickly shifted to a clear need that we were going to have to find new ways to serve in light of the health and safety challenges that COVID had created. Our staff was quick on their feet, listening intently, and moved with prudent and effective decisions, providing a virtual option for those who missed Gretel, regrouping for virtual and small group in-person academy programming this summer, including a small partnership with Fraternity Boys and Girls Clubs to deliver in-person programming outside this summer. And our artistic team began to search for other projects to help us to stay connected to our audiences. As we continued to monitor CDC guidelines while also working with our spaces and our unions to ensure safe returns to both the rehearsal process and performances, we feel we were unable to predict when we will be able to safely return into in-person rehearsals and or to present to a live audience. In addition to safety concerns, the projected losses in revenue due to limitations on audience size proved to be an untenable challenge. Even when taking into account potential revenue from streaming the in-person performances to audiences who are unable or unwilling to attend live theater. So we made the decision to plan on our 2021 season being all virtual to ensure the safety of our artists, staff, and patrons. We are not closing the door to producing physical plays next season, but we feel we must wait until we know that we can rehearse, produce, and present safely for all involved, and in a way that is artistically exciting and in a manner that is fiscally responsible. Though we may not be able to come together physically to enjoy the magic of theater, we believe that First Stage can still deliver the power of an interactive, shared experience by creating new work designed specifically to be shared through the emerging digital platforms. We're not looking at simply filming and sharing our traditional stage work, but rather focusing on how to build new forms that engage our virtual audiences in a way that mirrors a visit to the theater. We've always worked to craft theater pieces that ask our audiences to lean in and journey with us. So we are looking toward creating virtual work that does that in various ways through a virtual season through our lens, asking you to see theater in a way that is new and yet familiar. The work has already begun. This summer, we produced and captured The Girl Who Swallowed a Cactus, a one-woman show featuring Academy alum Karen Estrada, sharing an imaginative tale from her home with the help of some found object puppetry. The show has an intimacy as Karen deftly communicates through the lens to her at-home audience. We shared this virtual production as a gift to our subscribers and a test of our virtual work, and we look forward to bringing it back in November. First Stage was also proud to be a producing partner for the National Theater for Young Audiences virtual production of A Kid's Play About Racism, based on the book by Jelani Memory, which was offered at no charge and was seen by over 85,000 people throughout the country. And they just announced that the show and support materials will be made available to schools in the coming year. Most recently, First Stage was invited to participate in the first Milwaukee Black Theater Festival through a young performer showcase of monologues, songs, and a short play featuring some of our BIPOC students from our Young Company and advanced acting programs. The showcase is still available on our YouTube channel and will continue indefinitely as a resource, but we wanted to give you a glimpse by sharing this rendition of Glory by John Legend and Common from Young Company member Najee Robinson.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory. Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon. Formed against, yes, glory is destined. Everyday women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skins become lessons. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us. Resistance is us. That's why Rosa sat on the bus. That's why we walk through Ferguson with our hands up. When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up. Shots, we on the ground. The camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintops, and we ran up. One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours, it will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure, we will be sure. Oh, glory. Oh. Now the war is not over, victory isn't won. We'll fight on to the finish, and then when it's all done, we'll cry glory, oh glory, oh, we'll cry glory, oh glory. Selma is now for every man, woman, and child. Even Jesus got his crown in front of a crowd. They march with the torch, we gon' run with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads, heroes, to become a hero. Faced the League of Justice, his power was the people. Enemy is lethal, a king became regal. Saw the face of Jim Crow under a bald eagle. The biggest weapon is to stay peaceful. We sing, our music is the cuts that we bleed through. Somewhere in the dream we had an epiphany. Now we right the wrongs in history. No one can win a war individually. It takes the wisdom of the elders and young people's energy. Welcome to the story we call Victory, the coming of the Lord. My eyes have seen the glory.
We're so thankful to Milwaukee Black Theater Festival for the opportunity to amplify voices of our young people, and proud of Najee and all of our young performers who participate in the showcase. I also want to give a shout out to our directors, Njeme Kamara and Ann Joseph Douglas, who nurtured and guided the cast through their process. I also want to share a bit about what is coming in our virtual world. I spoke early in the summer with First Stage Academy alum and Whiskey 68 actor Jeremy Tardy and playwright in residence John McClay about creating a short form series focused on young people that would be created specifically for the digital platform in a way that could connect in a special way to our audiences. And those discussions led to The Quest for Solomon's Treasure. This world premiere web series, streaming exclusively for First Stage audiences, follows 6 Milwaukee young people as they work together to solve clues in the ultimate treasure hunt to save the day. With new clues revealed each week in these 15 to 20-minute episodes, we invite the audience to help us solve this mystery. It's a little bit Goonies, a little bit National Treasure, and 100% Milwaukee. I want to share with you a quote from celebrated Milwaukee historian John Gerda, who served as a consultant on the piece. He said, "As someone who's been working in the field for nearly 50 years, I've seen firsthand the powerful role that local history can play in the lives of our young people. Seen through a local lens, the past comes alive. Important events took place on this street, in this neighborhood, close to home, not in the pages of some anonymous textbook. The creators of Solomon's Treasure have mined Milwaukee's history for nuggets large and small, and the effect will be to give young audiences a new appreciation for the riches of the past in their hometown." New episodes will be premiering every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. starting October 4th and running through November 15th, 2020. We're so excited to share this with our community. As I mentioned, The Girl Who Swallowed a Cactus will be coming back in November. Our award-winning young company will be producing 2 Gentlemen of Verona via the Zoom platform with live streaming performances in December. And our advanced acting class will present She Kills Monsters Virtual Realms, a comedic romp into the world of fantasy role-playing games. She Kills Monsters is a heart-pounding homage to the geek and warrior in us all. This remarkable production has struck a resonant chord with young people of America. We are thankful that the playwright has created this new version especially for digital rehearsal and delivery. It is packed with magic, wonder, and power. And in January, we'll premiere Escape from Peligro Island, a create-your-own adventure play where during the live stream performances, viewers will be voting nearly 20 different times on the choices our hero, Calloway Brown, will make. Will Calloway time travel to the Wild West and meet a talking horse, develop superpowers and fight crime in the future, or have a crush on a vampire? It will be up to the audience, and every live performance will be different. But we'll be recording all 8 episodes so that audience can watch how other performances turned out. A part of the magic of live theater is the danger of it all. What happens if something goes wrong? In the digital realm, it may feel that some of that magic and danger is gone, but that is definitely not the case with Escape from Peligro Island. At each live stream performance, the audience will be voting and the actors will have no idea what's going to happen and will need to respond in the moment and plunge forward. Truly inventive and consistently engaging and always funny. And we've got more things in the work, including commissioning a series of new short plays by BIPOC playwrights centered on young person's perspective and written with a digital platform in mind. We have created a membership model for our audiences to access all of our virtual content, as well as building an education portal for schools to access virtual theater and education programming to use throughout the year in a similar membership framework, using Broadway On Demand as the delivery system. These virtual productions and programs will have much more modest budgets in line with anticipated lower revenue, which has led to significant changes in our traditional budgeting structure, but allowed us a bit more flexibility in how we operate. While our overall budget for the coming season has been reduced by over 50%, the decreases in production spending are allowing us to bring back the majority of our staff, though our seasonal staff will be with us for a shorter season than normal, and all full-time staff are taking 4 weeks of furlough at some point during the season. Our production staff will be supporting our virtual work, but will also be helping out in other ways throughout the season. We're thankful to be able to bring them back and for their flexibility. In addition to the reduction of expenses that moving to a virtual season provides, it also provides time for our staff to do our EDI work that is so necessary at this time. From noted actor, teacher, and writer Stella Adler, the word theater comes from the Greeks. It means the seeing place. It is the place people come to see the truth about life and the social situation. The theater is a spiritual and social X-ray of its time. The theater was created to tell people the truth about life and the social situation. As a company, we must commit to strive for excellence in the creation of our art, but we must also remember our higher calling. The best theater productions and programs help foster change and advance the conversations that our community must have at this time. Use of theater in the classroom can help enhance existing curriculum while fostering life skills. Participating in theater training programs builds confidence, communication, and empathy. A well-done piece of theater can provoke discussion, foster understanding, and inspire change. When we come together to experience our common humanity through theater, we walk away with deeper insight. Maybe we see something in a new way or discover a new question for ourselves or our friends and family. We walk away with our thinking transformed. Recognizing the inherent value in participating and in experiencing theater, it is imperative that we continue to advance our efforts to ensure that all of our programming is reflective of our community through the stories we share and the programs we implement and the teams we assemble to bring those stories and programs to life, and that we hear from and listen to the varied voices that make up this community. These challenging times have also brought the inequities within theater and theater for young audiences to the forefront. In this challenging time for all, those who have been most challenged for the longest have justifiably spoken up and demanded change. I can assure you that we are listening. We've made progress toward consistently reflecting our community on stage and off, but more significant work remains. And this decision to have a virtual season provides us the time and resources to make that change. At this point, I'd like to introduce the chair of our EDI Anti-Racism Committee, Samantha Montgomery, to offer an update on our process.
Greetings. My name is Samantha Montgomery, and I am on the EDI committee at First Stage, and I am excited about the steps First Stage is contributing to dismantling systemic racism. Our EDI team has been meeting weekly throughout the summer, and we have been working relentlessly to develop our EDI plan. Once our plan is completed, we will share our new direction with you. Our EDI plan is a proactive living document that will be revisited quarterly by our EDI committee. We are dedicated to making the necessary changes that are needed to bring reconciliation and healing to our arts community. Thank you for listening and have a blessed day.
Thank you, Samantha. I also want to share on a national level, today begins a series of 11 webinars that TYA, the Theater for Young Audiences USA, has prepared for the field, looking at how we implement anti-racist practices in our field. And we're thankful for their work and their support of what we're doing. Before we move on, I also wanted to share a quote from James Baldwin, who said, "Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced." Our EDI committee is committed to ensuring that we as an organization and as individuals face our reality and do what it takes to move forward as a place where all people can thrive. Finally, I turn to author Alice Walker, who offers us a reminder of our ultimate mission. If art doesn't make us better, then what on earth is it for? Thank you for listening to me today. And know that we are also interested in listening to what you have to say. So please don't hesitate to reach out to Betsy or I or any of our staff with questions or suggestions in this time. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Laura Orr.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us for today's First Stage ImpACT event. I'm Laura Orr, and I'm an avid supporter of First Stage. I have the privilege of serving on the board of directors, and as a mom, I've seen firsthand how kids' lives truly are transformed through theater with First Stage. I also serve as the Chief Strategy and Governance Officer for Children's Wisconsin, and this morning I am thrilled to introduce our keynote speaker, Jill Winch. Jill has been a certified child life specialist for 22 years. 19 of those years, she's been with Children's Wisconsin. Child life specialists are a critical part of the care team in pediatric healthcare. Jill spends her days with sick and injured kids and their families, helping them cope with some of the darkest days of their lives. She guides them through the fear, she guides them through the hope. And more than anything, Jill truly understands the power of connection and the importance of connection in healing and wholeness. Please join me in welcoming Jill Winch as our keynote speaker today.
Hi, and thank you for having me here today. As Laura stated, my name is Jill Winch, and I'm a child life specialist at Children's Wisconsin. Today, I am here to talk to you about the power of connections. A connection is a relationship which a person, thing, or idea is linked or associated with something else. In the words of Brené Brown, I define connection as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they derive sustenance and strength from the relationship. For those of you that have never heard of child life, I would like to take a moment and explain what we do, because our whole job is based on connections. As child life specialists, we work with the psychosocial needs of our patients. We help them understand their diagnosis, treatment, tests, and procedures in developmentally appropriate language that they can understand. We promote positive coping and normalize the hospital experience. We do much of this through play. You can learn so much from a patient just by watching them play. Children will tell you how they're feeling, what's going on, and we can even assess their hospital experience with either normal play or medical play. Medical play is allowing the children to be able to manipulate and gain a greater understanding of the actual equipment they will see throughout their journey. We also provide parent and sibling support as we are family focused. In order to do this work, we do on a daily basis, we must build rapport and connections with the patients and families. As a child life specialist, we strive on making connections with children and adults alike. Depending on where we work within the hospital, this can be done over numerous encounters or in the moment and done quickly. Reflecting on some of the patients I have worked with over the years, I wanted to talk about a patient that connections did not come easy. To set the stage, this patient was a teenager, didn't speak the language, and had no family support. He had a life-threatening diagnosis and a brain injury, and that injury, his behaviors were erratic and threatening at times. Staff were nervous going into his room because they didn't know how he was going to react, and many times security was there with the staff as they entered. I was able to take the time and try to get him to know him through an interpreter first, and he was very guarded, so that wasn't an easy task. But with daily check-ins, he started to build rapport and trust. He would attempt to teach me his language, and I would teach him some English. Many times this would make him laugh since I struggled, but this helped him to develop more of a connection because I could laugh at myself. I brought an Uno to play because there's few directions and you don't need a lot of communication. This ended up being his favorite game, and it helped him build connections with staff also, because they could come in and ask him if he wanted to play, and he always did. Sometimes it's the little things that can break the ice and turn around a situation and build some trust. As he became more comfortable speaking English, I discovered that he actually knew a whole lot more than he let on. But he didn't speak to anybody because he was afraid that they would make fun of him if he didn't say the words correctly. Building trust and making connections for him was hard. But once he knew that even if he kicked us out of his room, which happened in the beginning, I and other staff never gave up on him. And in the end, when he would come for clinic visits, he would come and give us updates on how things were going. He truly felt connected with the staff. Think about the people in your life that you're most connected to. What helped make that connection? And what helps sustain it? Making connections with others comes naturally for some, and for others, it's a challenge. These challenges could come from a variety of reasons. But it's imperative that children and teens make connections with their peers, and parents play a crucial role in their child's social development. When children make connections, they feel important. It builds their self-esteem, and it gives them confidence. Connections are vital to healthy development in children, and in turn will follow them through their adult life. Children learn by example, and when they see the adults in their lives connecting positively, they in turn will have a higher likelihood of also developing positive connections with others. Children thrive to be accepted and part of a group. Younger children, typically under the age of 7, tend to seek out connections from others in the neighborhood or ones who like the same fun new toys that they have and have little to do with personality traits. Children between 7 and 12 tend to have connections with others that are more dependent on these traits or behaviors. And they tend to lean towards friends that have interests that are similar to them. During adolescence, these connections become more complicated and multifaceted. Teens tend to lean on their friends more than their family, and they want to be accepted. And many times, this group shapes who they are in the future. Children and teens make connections through a variety of ways, whether it be in the neighborhood, in a sports team, in creative arts like First Stage, or more recently virtually, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. Children and teens are striving to find a place in this world. They may try out many different activities to find a place they feel comfortable and accepted in. Others struggle to find their place and need more guidance and nudging to try new things and find a place that they truly fit in. No matter what path children or teens take, each one is unique, and they should be encouraged to take the path that they feel most comfortable with, and not the ones the parents feel is best for them. I would be remiss if I didn't talk briefly about the times we are currently living in, and how we are making these connections have changed, and how we have to find new and different ways of connecting with others. Did you ever think that we would be living in a world where most of our communication or human connection is through virtual options? According to research, loneliness is on the rise, and our social connections seem to be falling by the wayside. But these connections are so much more important than you think. As quoted by Simi Froman, in a world of algorithms, hashtags, and followers, know the true importance of human connection. These connections can lower anxiety and depression, help us regulate our emotions, evoke higher self-esteem and empathy, and improve our immune systems. Social connections are good for our overall health. These human connections look different for each person, depending on their comfort level, and that's okay. We are all unique, and we make connections in unique ways also. It is vital that we do not completely disconnect with each other during this time of social distancing. We need to make sure that both children, teens, and ourselves are still able to make connections with peers in a safe manner. We should be encouraging our children to have virtual hangouts or do other virtual programming. This gives them a chance to meet and connect without being in the same room, and sometimes even make connections with others from diverse backgrounds that they may never have the opportunity to meet. In closing, I want to share a quote by Fred Rogers. "If only you could sense how important you are to the lives of those you meet, how important you can be to the people you never dream of. There's something of yourself that you leave in every meeting with another person." This is something that we should all instill in children, and these positive connections will shape them in the future. Thank you for your time this morning, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Sometimes people leave you halfway through the road. Others may deceive you. You decide it's good. You decide alone. But no one is alone. I know. Mother isn't here now.
Things right things.
Knows what she'd say.
Who can say what's true?
Things aren't quite so clear now.
Things fight things.
You lost your way.
You decide, but you are not alone.
Believe me, no one is alone.
No one is alone, believe me.
Truly, you
Just a finger. Say it's like it's good. Something's bound to linger. Be heard. No one acts alone. Careful, no one is alone. People make mistakes. Fathers, people make mistakes, holding to their own, thinking they're alone.
honor their mistakes.
Everybody makes one another's terrible mistakes. Wishes to be right, shines to be good. You decide what's right. You decide what's good.
Just remember.
Just remember, someone is on your side. Our side, someone else is not. While we're seeing they merely forgot they are not alone. No one is alone.
Hard to see the light now.
Just don't let it go. Things will come out right now. We can make it so. Someone is on your side. No one is alone.
Good morning. I'm Julia Magnasco, the programming director at First Stage. It is so wonderful to be with all of you this morning and share more about this organization that means so much to me. I love that video we just saw with our Director of Operations, Jeff Shetsky, and 2 Academy alums, Cole Winston and Emily Polgaretz. Into the Woods was one of our performance experiences this summer. And the message in No One is Alone rings truer than ever this year as we strive to continue to build community and provide an artistic home for so many young people and families. As soon as the Safer at Home regulation was put into place this past March, First Stage's Academy and Education Department quickly shifted programming opportunities for our students, families, and teachers to virtual platforms. During this challenging time, we wanted to make sure we were continuing to serve our audiences and strengthen our First Stage community. We moved our school year intensive programs online for the remainder of the semester, invited Academy students and families to join us for daily live streams of our beginning of day and end of day, a tradition of our Academy programming. We virtually rehearsed and performed the Young Company's production of You Can't Take It With You to our audiences through Zoom, and also produced The Show Must Go Online with 60 Academy students through a virtual platform. When it came to thinking about summer Academy plans, we never doubted whether we were going to hold these classes. However, for us to move forward, we had to make significant changes to our programming model. The safety and physical and emotional health of our students, family, and staff was of the utmost importance. So we chose to move 65% of our programs to a virtual platform and offer select in-person classes with very limited class sizes. We trained our teaching artists in virtual platforms that enabled us to create robust virtual courses that allowed students to access materials such as scripts and sheet music, upload pictures and videos of classwork, and break out into smaller groups for scene work. And to ensure we followed health and safety precautions, we limited our in-person classes to 8 students per class. We staggered start and end times for class, implemented social distancing procedures in the classrooms by taping out grids on the floor to ensure staff and students maintained 6 feet of separation at all times, took temperatures of staff and students upon arrival each day and required the wearing of face masks, and sanitized classroom spaces between sessions and nightly. Although summer looked different this year, the heart of our programming, how we engaged our students in active learning, how we worked to create safe spaces where students are encouraged to take risks and support one another, how we built community by working as an ensemble, and how we hired the best theater professionals to work with our students and further develop their actor toolkits was stronger than ever. We held 9 weeks of virtual classes with a variety of week-long programs for young people ages 4 through 19, including story drama, performance workshops, academy class rotations in acting theory, musical theater, and voice and movement, master classes, and our Next Steps program for students on the autism spectrum. Our in-person classes included 6 weeks of performance experiences for grades 3 through 12. These in-person performance experiences focused on the rehearsal process of a show, And throughout the summer, we put on performances of Rent, Lion King Jr., Beauty and the Beast Jr., Julius Caesar, and Cinderella wore combat boots, to name a few. These final presentations were all filmed and live edited and then shared with families to view. We received some incredible feedback from families participating in our in-person and virtual classes. One Academy parent wrote, "I just want to let you know what an absolutely wonderful time my daughter had in the Lion King session the last 2 weeks. I have not seen her this happy in a long time." And another shared, "I wanted to take a few minutes to write you a note to let you know how much we've enjoyed the virtual first stage experiences that our daughter has taken part in this summer. We live in rural Wisconsin, and our daughter has had few experiences with theater because it is so hard to get her to Milwaukee or Madison or any other bigger city. As a teacher, I appreciate the methods you use to get students to work together and be creative and active. I'm sure it's exhausting and not easy, but it has made the difference in the life of a 10-year-old who lives in rural Wisconsin." Our school year academy classes will start on September 23rd. We will be offering both virtual and in-person sessions, including in-person school year intensives, virtual fall classes for Young Company, virtual Next Steps programming, and both virtual and in-person performance experiences. Over 70 students will have the opportunity to perform with First Stage and the Theater Academy this fall, with performance experiences for students in 3rd grade through high school, as well as full productions that will be part of the First Stage virtual season for Young Company and our advanced acting students. And in addition to our academy offerings, we are working hard to continue to provide arts resources to our school and community partners throughout the Milwaukee area and beyond. This summer, we spent time reaching out to educators and asking them how First Stage could best support their students and classrooms this school year. We heard over and over again that teachers wanted to continue their partnership with First Stage, but were unsure of how to do this with the uncertainties of the school program this year. Programs that could be flexible and available for students to engage with in a classroom setting or at home was critical. So we took this information and we are now in the process of putting together over 30 pre-recorded arts integrated lessons that will be available on Broadway on Demand in this new school membership package that will allow teachers to utilize First Stage workshops at the times that work best for them and their curriculum. And like all First Stage education programs, this on-demand content is designed to actively engage students in the learning process and requires students to participate along with our teaching artists. "I can't" is not in my vocabulary. A key line from our First Stage cheer and a motto we strive to live by daily. We know the great impact of our programming and what it has on families and young people and their families, and we are working hard to make sure our programming continues to meet the changing needs of our students, families, and school communities while reaching out to ensure new families and schools have access to our programming. We are so grateful for our students and alums who constantly remind us of this impact. And I will leave you this morning with a few words from some of our former students.
Hi, my name is Alexis Block.
My name is Josiah Williams.
I'm Shantae Miller.
My name is Gabby Nunez.
I'm Sydney Salter.
My name is Joel Boyd.
My name is Mary Beth Fox.
Hey, I'm Jeffrey James Keys, but you can call me JJ. I'm a New York-based writer, producer, and sometimes even an actor.
I split my time living in Stuttgart, Germany, Zurich, Switzerland, and Paris, France.
I am a television writer and actor living in Los Angeles, California.
I live in New York City.
I currently reside between Milwaukee and Chicago.
I live in New York City.
I'm in Orlando, Florida.
I'm a casting director for film and television based in New York City.
I'm currently a doctoral fellow with the Max Planck ETH Zurich Center for Learning Systems. researching social physical human-robot interaction.
I am currently training to be an actor at the Juilliard School.
I work as a fundraising consultant.
I'm an actor.
And I serve as an on-air talent for WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment.
Every day, I use the training and life skills through stage skills that I got while at First Stage.
I put out a New York Times bestseller called Killer Chef that I co-authored with James Patterson a few years back. First Stage allowed me the space and opportunity to understand focus and discipline, two things that I continue to work on today.
First Stage was a huge part of my childhood, and even though those academy summers were extremely fun, I learned some really good stuff.
Perhaps the biggest takeaway that I've had is just being able to live in the knowledge that I have the capacity to do and to try anything.
The biggest lesson that I learned at First Stage was when John McClay told me that there will always be someone more talented than you, but never let anyone outwork you, which is something that I have applied to my everyday life and working in the industry in New York City.
The life skills through stage skills, I just remember one of the greatest things we used to say in the mornings during our chant was like, I am not afraid to lead, which I think is such a powerful idea.
So thank you so much for helping so many young people learn these skills in a safe and nurturing environment. These lessons really will stick with them for a lifetime.
I rely on the training that I had at First Stage to help me confidently, clearly, and eloquently get my point across in a way that not many engineers are really able to do.
I'm grateful for the good people that I met at First Stage. They helped me find my way.
I am so grateful to First Stage for all of the life skills that I learned through stage skills.
I'm incredibly thankful for First Stage.
I just can't thank First Stage enough for everything that they taught me growing up. It's really made me the person that I am today.
Thank you, First Stage.
Hello, my name is Karen Eston and I'm the board president for First Stage. I've been a member of the First Stage family for the last 20 years as a parent of academy students, young performers, as a patron and season ticket holder, as a volunteer, and most recently as a board member. First Stage has had a lasting impact on our family. We've had conversations about the stories. We love watching their evolution in the community and impact on children and schools. It's been a great privilege to be part of this organization. I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but I'm happy to be able to announce a new initiative for our 2021 season called the Hope Fund. This is no doubt going to be a challenging season for First Stage, but we are looking forward to engaging both online and in person and keeping our First Stage family connected. With a revenue model that usually makes half of our budget through contributions, this year we need contributions to make up approximately 80%. The Hope Fund was created as a relief initiative to help support our staff and their continued ability to work with serving our students and families in our community. We have a challenge grant from the Molitor Foundation, who will match gifts made to the Hope Fund dollar for dollar up to $100,000. You can visit the website firststage.org to make a donation. You can also become a contributing member this year and enjoy an all-access pass to our virtual production season while contributing to the Hope Fund. I'd like to thank you for your commitment to First Stage and the young people in our community, and for helping keep our mission of transforming lives through theater alive for generations to come by supporting us with a charitable gift today. Thank you.
The Hope Fund. I love it. And did you hear that? The Molitor Foundation is matching donations. That means if I contribute $100, that is $200 for First Stage. Just think of the impact we can make today. This fund is incredibly important in order for First Stage to get through this difficult time. And I thank you in advance for investing in the power of theater, the power of connection, and in the lives of young people in our community. To make a gift to the Hope Fund, visit First Stage's website, firststage.org. Now we have one more performance for you before we end. But for those of you tuning in live, we invite you to top off your coffee and join us for some social time on Zoom, where you can ask questions, chat with our program participants, and where we can connect for a bit of time. I thank you again for your support of First Stage. And to wrap up our program, please enjoy this special version of My Favorite Things with new lyrics written by First Stage student Eloise Field, featuring Cole and Quinn Cezanne, Naima Gaines, Catalina Cruz, Liam Eddy, Adelaide Shetsky, Amira Muhammad, Zephaniah Singh Ponder, and Eloise herself.
Teachers with smiles and kids full of laughter,
making the memories that stay for years after.
Cute little puppets all tied up with strings. First Stage is one of my favorite things. Feeling so awesome when shouting the cheer, knowing that I can conquer my fear.
Lots of fun music to run from and sing. First Stage is always my favorite thing.
All in our t-shirts with pretty green writing, acting and improv and of course stage fighting. When I do Shakespeare, I feel like a king. First Stage is simply the greatest thing. When school gets rough, when I'm lonely or I'm feeling sad, I simply remember those First Stage things, and they don't feel so bad. Beginning of day and our lunch in our classes, our wacky Wednesdays when we wear sunglasses.
Here at First Stage I can be anything. First Stage is truly